Imagine a giant towering over the Mediterranean, breathing fire and smoke. This is Mount Etna, Europe's most active volcano. For centuries, we've feared its fiery eruptions, the lava flows that threaten towns, the ash clouds that ground flights. We've watched its every rumble, listened for every tremor, believing we understood its power. But we were wrong. The greatest danger from Etna isn't a fiery explosion. It's silent, it's slow, and it's unstoppable. Deep beneath the waves, scientists have been uncovering a terrifying secret. Mount Etna is sliding. It's inching its way, millimeter by millimeter, into the Ionian Sea. This isn't a sudden jolt from an earthquake or the aftermath of a huge eruption. This is the relentless, crushing force of gravity. The entire southeastern flank of this colossal mountain, a mass weighing billions of tons, is slowly giving way. Think about the sheer scale of this. Etna isn't just a mountain, it's a behemoth built upon weak foundations. For millions of years, the seafloor here has accumulated layers of soft waterlogged sediments. They're like a greasy, unstable base. Now, imagine placing a 3,000-meter-high volcano on top. The immense weight of Etna is squeezing these weak layers, and the whole structure is beginning to deform and slip. The mountain is literally sliding downhill on its own accord. For a long time, this movement was just a theory. Scientists noticed the ground shifting, but they assumed it was all connected to the magma chamber swelling and deflating deep inside the volcano. When magma rises, the mountain inflates like a balloon. When it retreats, the mountain settles. This explains some of the movement, but not all of it. There was a missing piece to the puzzle, a subtle, creeping motion that didn't fit the volcanic activity. The breakthrough came from looking not at the land, but under the sea. Researchers placed a network of high-tech sensors on the sea floor off the coast of Sicily. These instruments act like a submerged GPS, capable of detecting movements as small as a fraction of an inch. They were positioned along a fault line that extends from Etna's flank far out into the Mediterranean. What they recorded was astonishing. In May 2017, something happened that sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Over a period of just 8 days, the volcano's flank suddenly lurched. It moved 4 centimeters. That might not sound like much, but for a mountain, it's a massive, terrifying sprint. The most chilling part. During those 8 days, there were no eruptions, were no significant earthquakes. The magma chamber wasn't doing anything unusual. The mountain moved all by itself. The seafloor sensors confirmed it. The movement wasn't being driven from inside the volcano. It was a gravitational collapse. The entire flank was slipping under its own immense weight. The trigger was simply gravity, constantly pulling, day and night, year after year. The silent force was winning. This discovery changed everything we thought we knew about volcanic hazards. We've always looked up at the crater for danger, but the real threat was coming from below, from the very foundations of the mountain. And this wasn't the first time it has happened. The evidence of Etna's destructive past is written all over the landscape and hidden beneath the waves. Looking at Mount Etna from above, you can see a massive horseshoe-shaped scar carved into its eastern side, called the Valle del Bove, a vast, desolate amphitheater. Geologists now believe this is the wound left behind by a colossal, prehistoric collapse. Tens of thousands of years ago, a huge section of the volcano likely failed catastrophically, sliding into the sea in an event of unimaginable scale. And where did all that rock go? Underwater exploration has revealed the answer. The seafloor east of Sicily is littered with debris. We're talking about huge, chaotic piles of volcanic rock. Some forming hills hundreds of meters high beneath the ocean's surface. It's a submarine graveyard, the scattered remains of a mountain that fell apart. Etna has a history of collapse, and what we're witnessing today is just the latest chapter in a very long story. Scientists are now in a race against time, trying to understand how fast this is happening and what the ultimate consequences could be. They use an incredible array of technology to watch Etna's every move. Satellites in space use radar to map ground deformation with millimeter precision, creating a living map of the mountain's breathing and shifting. GPS stations pepper the volcano's slopes, constantly tracking their position. Strain meters are buried deep in the rock to feel the immense pressures building up. Combined with the ocean floor sensors, This network gives us an unprecedented view of the forces at play. We can see the deep-seated movement, the slow, steady slide towards the sea, independent of the volcanic plumbing system. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck, but one that spans an entire mountain. So, what is the ultimate danger? It's not the slide itself. It's the potential for that slow slide to become a sudden, catastrophic failure. If a large enough section of Etna's flank were to break off and plunge into the Ionian Sea, it would displace a massive volume of water. The result would be a devastating tsunami. This isn't just science fiction. We've seen it happen elsewhere. In 2018, a flank collapse at the Anak Krakatoa volcano in Indonesia triggered a tsunami that struck the coast with almost no warning, claiming hundreds of lives. The wave was generated not by an earthquake, but by a landslide into the sea. With Mount Etna, the stakes are exponentially higher. The coastal areas of Sicily, mainland Italy, and even Greece and North Africa are densely populated. A major tsunami in the Mediterranean would be an unthinkable catastrophe. The very thing that makes the region so beautiful, the sea could become the agent of its destruction. The challenge is that we have no way to predict when a slow slide might accelerate into a catastrophic collapse. It could continue its gentle creep for centuries, or it could fail next year. The 2017 event, that 4-centimeter shift in 8 days, was a wake-up call. It showed that the system is unstable and capable of sudden, rapid movement without any of the classic volcanic warning signs. This is the new reality of living with Mount Etna. The familiar threat of lava and ash has been joined by a stealthier, more insidious danger. A danger that is silent, driven by the fundamental force of gravity, and playing out on a geological timescale that we are only just beginning to comprehend. Every day, the sensors watch. Every day, the data flows in. And every day, the mountain slides a little further. We can't stop it. All we can do is watch, learn, and try to understand the silent power of a volcano slowly, inexorably falling into the sea. This hidden movement is now considered Etna's greatest hazard, a ticking time bomb whose clock is measured in millimeters of rock and the relentless pull of gravity. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the hidden dangers of our planet fascinating, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories from the frontiers of science. See you next time.